name was Frog Boy, and he was the weird kid at this one school. Froggy, Huggy Wuggy. Every single day before class, he would be in the woods behind the school, catching frogs, lizards, and raising tadpoles in a Home Depot bucket. Grow, little tadpoles. Grow into frogs. And every day he would walk into class smelling like pond water. Yo, Frog Boy smells extra froggy today. But in class, he would have so much pent-up energy. He couldn't sit still, and every single teacher knew this. Kevin, why don't you go take a lap around the school, okay? Okay. They would often let him leave school and run around the building and come back to tire himself out. In different classes, other kids would be doing math, and they would look out the window to see Frog Boy running by. 2 + 2 is 6. He would also just do crazy stuff, like one week he super glued all the woodshop tools to the wall. It's a masterpiece. My tools! Another week he went into the kitchen and spread flour everywhere. Looks like it snowed in here. My kitchen! And it was like that for a long time. Well, fast forward years later. One of his old classmates is at home scrolling through his phone when he stumbles on a viral motocross clip. Yo, that's sick. It's a clip of a guy on a dirt bike going off this huge ramp and doing a backflip. That's when the old classmate realizes, wait, that's frickin' Frog Boy! Frog Boy was now a professional motocross rider, and he was very rich. I'm just happy he used his energy for something awesome like that. Hey, go Frog Boy. Black markets kids ran in their schools. One year at one high school, they replaced all of the candy, snacks, and soda in the vending machines with healthier options, like apples and bananas. This person said that there were Fig Newtons in there. That's nasty. Well, the day this happened, the seniors got a brilliant idea. Yo, what the heck happened to all the snacks, man? This is crazy. Dude, seriously, I want Cheetos, not a frickin' banana. Wait, I have an idea. What are you thinking, bro? I know a way to get our snacks and make money. Hear me out. You see, the senior class had the earliest lunch, and they had a free period where they were allowed to leave school grounds. Well, this is what they did. Every day, they would leave, buy a bunch of snacks, soda, and treats, bring it back to school, and sell it to the underclassmen at a huge markup. One group would sell dessert treats. The other group would sell chips. Another group would sell soda. Business was absolutely booming, and the senior class was making hundreds and hundreds of dollars. These seniors saw an opportunity and they took it.
Gotta respect the hustle.
This has to be the worst date of all time. When this girl was in college, she had went on a couple dates with this guy she met in one of her classes. Well, one day they made a plan to hang out at his apartment. It was pretty low-key. He was playing League of Legends and she was doing homework in his room. Come on! Crap. You must really like that game, huh? You've been on it for hours. Yeah, it's actually my favorite game of all time, so. At that point, she was a little annoyed, but nothing would be as bad as what was about to happen. She suddenly heard some gross, suspicious noises. And then there was the smell, and that's when she knew what was happening. Did you just shit your pants? Who, me? No, Abraham Lincoln. Yes, you. Did you poop your pants? Yeah, I did. Why? Because I'm playing a game. I don't want to get up. I do this all the time, okay? Yeah, okay, this is over. Oh, come on, I do it all the time. It's not a big deal. Whatever. And she never saw him ever again. That's nasty. This kid ran a genius hustle. So at this one school, if your phone ended up in the lost and found, it stayed there until the parents of that student picked it up. That was the rule. If they took your phone, you were not getting it back. Then this kid named Marcus starts a business. $10 and I'll get your phones back before 6th period. Bro, what? They're in the front office. Yeah, well, Marcus had an older cousin that worked in the front office. And every day during lunch, Marcus would go to the office to say hi to his cousin. And when he did that, his cousin would quietly hand him a phone wrapped in a napkin. Hey, what's up, cousin? Oh, hey, Marcus, hope you're having a good lunch. Here is your snack I brought you. Good man. And nobody noticed. He had a group chat, phone retrieval services. You would DM him what class you lost your phone in and what your phone case looked like. He even had tiers. $10 for standard pickups during lunch, $15 if you had to go to the office during class, it's a bit more risky, and $20 if you get caught again the next day. It became this underground thing. But here's the twist. Eventually the principal finds out about this. He made a deal. I won't punish you, but for this next week, every single time someone messages you to do this, give me their name. Fine. He became a frickin' informant, and for that next week, he busted a lot of kids. Eventually, they found out that he had flipped and his business was completely washed. But still, I I guess you gotta respect the hustle. The wrong grandkid. Every few months, she would get an envelope in the mail. Oh, sweet. It was Grandma's handwriting. Inside of it, a crisp $20 bill. And a note that said, for gas. I don't even drive, Mom. Grandma's old, sweetie, let's not question it. Money's money. Years go by and the letters keep coming. Always the same message. For gas. Then one summer, the entire family's over for a barbecue. Well, her cousin pulls up. New car, loud music bumping. He's about 5 years older than she is. What's up, family? Grandma hugs him. She's laughing. Oh, I see that gas money's going to good use. The cousin goes, gas money? Yeah, I've been mailing it to you for years. Well, this girl overheard that. Grandma, you've been mailing me that. Oh, my fault. What had happened was the grandma had written down this address years ago. It was the wrong address. It was the address of Ashley Johnson. The grandkid she meant to send it to was Adam Johnson. So all she wrote on the letter was A. Johnson. You can see where the confusion would come into play. Well, Grandma, looks like you owe me like $300 now. Oh, no. Your cousin probably needed that money more than you do. I mean, look at your nice car. You got plenty of it. That's hilarious. It's the middle of summer. No breeze, just that sticky sidewalk melting heat. And then the ice cream truck song. Every kid in the neighborhood stops when they hear it. Oh my God, it's here, guys, it's here. Yes. But it wasn't the ice cream truck. It was just Tyler, 11 years old, Bluetooth speaker in one hand and a cooler on wheels in the other. He's playing the ice cream jingle off a YouTube video. It just started walking the block. Well, kids come running out with cash. Wait, are you selling? Yep, got the stuff in my cooler. The prices are on the lid. He flips open the cooler. He's got everything. The SpongeBob pops, those like bomb pops, the strawberry shortcake ones, all perfectly frozen, bought in bulk from Costco. This kid is killing it. And the thing is, he would undercut the prices of the actual ice cream truck by $1, so his stuff was cheaper. By week 2, people were texting him to have them come by their house or their birthday party. It was a full-blown business. The real ice cream truck, out of respect, stopped showing up to this neighborhood altogether. This kid turned a Bluetooth speaker and a cooler full of ice cream into a full-blown empire, and that summer he made over $500. You gotta respect the hustle.
Interesting facts about lucid dreams. Lucid dreaming is when you are in a dream and you know that you're in a dream. You can control it and do whatever you want, like literally. I taught myself how to do it when I was younger and it is awesome. Did you know that time moves slower when you were in a dream? One person apparently lived a lifetime in a lucid dream. She said it felt like she was in there for 100 years. And she wasn't stuck, she said. She said it was epic, but it only actually happened over the course of a night. When you lucid dream, you can create a world, cities, houses, and even people that you can revisit every time you're back in that dream. It's like you have 2 lives, your waking life and your dream life. Dream characters are people that your subconscious puts in your dream. So say you're 100% lucid, you know you're dreaming, and you walk around a city. If you ask a question to somebody walking around, their answer is actually your subconscious talking to you. Have you ever had a lucid dream?
This app called Yoru X has everything you need to learn. Go here, and then here to get it. He opened his lunch, looked inside, and oh God, he was starving. He missed breakfast this day. He had a packed lunch and he couldn't wait for his lunch period. He'd been counting down all morning. Well, it's finally his lunch. He sits down, he opens his lunch bag, and what? Yeah, first thing he sees, a container of cold chicken and sauerkraut. Next to it was a weird mustard packet, like one of those from the deli, a Ziploc full of cherry tomatoes, and a boiled egg, just loose, in the lunch bag, floating around. No salt, no napkin, nothing. What? Are you good, homie? I grabbed my dad's lunch. He packs it up, he doesn't eat, doesn't say a word for the rest of lunch. Carries the bag with him all day, and then after school, he goes home, and he walks into his kitchen. Dad, what even is this? Ah, it's my lunch. Yeah, I was wondering why I had yours. Dude, it's nasty. It smells like vinegar, and there's just an egg in there, loose. Hey, that's a good egg. No, Dad, that's a sad egg. A very sad egg. And from that day forward, he made sure to triple check his lunches every morning before school. Honestly, I think that dad's lunch didn't sound too bad, myself. It started with a rule. The dress code is to promote professionalism. No crop tops, no tank tops, no ripped jeans. Girls' pants can't be above their ankles. Some real crazy dress code stuff. Well, this girl had enough, and she wants to do something about it. So one day, she shows up to school in a full-body horse costume. Yes, I know it's a llama mask, but I don't have a horse mask, so bear with me. Mane, hooves, tail, covered head to toe. And technically, this horse costume followed every single rule. That's not professional. Show me where it says no horses. They couldn't do anything because there was no rule in the handbook that said no costumes or no horses. There was no skin showing. Her ankles were covered by the horse costume. Like I said, she knew the handbook better than the teachers and the principal did. But the thing is, the teachers were obsessed with this. One teacher would bring her carrots every morning. Hey, horse girl, I got a carrot for you. That's hilarious. One teacher said, "You're my hero." Even the lunch lady would start neighing whenever she saw her. She wore this horse costume every single day for 3 straight weeks. But then the school finally added a new rule. No costume wear. This kid started a war at the zoo. 5th grade field trip to the zoo. Everyone's hyped. The teacher's already stressed. They get to the primate exhibit. The absolute best exhibit in any frickin' zoo. All right, class, hands to yourselves, please. Let's respect the facility and the gorillas, okay? There's this one kid. That kid. He picks up a stick and launches it into the gorilla exhibit. Well, the stick lands on the ground right next to a full-grown silverback gorilla. The gorilla turns, sees the kid, grabs the stick, and throws it back. Smack! The stick explodes across this kid's chin. He drops, screaming, blood's everywhere. Chaos. This class is freaking out, teachers are screaming, and then the rest of the gorillas show up, all gathered on the other side of the fence right next to this class. They just rolled in like backup, and they're all just smacking the ground. They're all angry. And it's gotta be horrifying for these kids. They're yelling, they're pounding the glass. This is gonna kill me, they're gonna kill me. What is going on? Well, the pounding on the glass alerted the orangutans, who were on just the other side of this exhibit. And they rolled in like backup as well. So now it's like a dozen silverback gorillas, a dozen orangutans, all just pounding the glass in the ground on the other side of this class on a field trip. Dear God. That's when the gorillas and the orangutans start pooping in their hand and chucking the poop at the glass. Back to the buses. Now. The zoo staff swarms in from all sides. They shut this entire thing down. The exhibit is closed for the rest of the day. 30 minutes later, the school's banned from the zoo for life. And the kid who got the stick thrown at him left in an ambulance. He had to get stitches. That is absolutely insane. So where's my daughter? Yeah. Well, we got good news and bad news. This happened the second day of kindergarten. Ella is 5 years old. It's her second day ever riding the bus. The bus route ends at the daycare, and that's where her mom picks her up after work. But on this particular day, the bus pulls up. The kids get off, except for Ella. The daycare staff looks around. Wait a minute, where's Ella? They called her mom. Hi, did you keep Ella home from school today? Because she's not here. What? No, she was in the bus this morning. The mom calls the school. Where is my daughter? She didn't get off her bus today. I have no idea. They had no idea. They panic. The mom panics. 15 minutes later, the school calls the mom back. Hi, we know where she is. we know where she is. She had fallen asleep on the bus. The bus driver never checked the seats. They drove the bus back to the bus depot and locked the bus inside of the garage and left. Ella wakes up alone. On a dark, silent bus, and she's absolutely horrified, as you can imagine. There's no lights, there's no voices. She starts screaming. Ah! Finally, a mechanic hears her and runs over. She's in tears, she's shaking, she's hugging her backpack. The school apologized. The bus driver got fired, and that girl never took a nap on a bus ever again. This happened in elementary school. A kid gets called out in class. Tyler, that is not appropriate. Go to the office. Then without a word, he stands up, sprints out of the classroom, and runs straight out the front school doors. And just like that, he's gone. The principal gets called. Yeah, we got a runner. They can't find him anywhere. 15 minutes later, the school's on full lockdown. People are starting to actually panic at this point. They call the kids' parents. They come. They're furious. They're freaking out. Where's my son? Where's my son? Police cars surround the building. A helicopter is hovering above. A freaking helicopter. They start searching the woods behind the school. Hours go by. A SWAT team-looking unit shows up, and they find him a mile away, sitting in a lonely patch of grass, eating a Snickers. Tyler, what are you doing out here, man? I got stressed, and the Snickers, it helps me relax. I feel much better now, by the way. They escort him back. The kid got suspended, and his parents had to take him to therapy for a bit. Had to figure out why he would do this in the first place, but still, that day is still known as the Great Tyler Lockdown. That's insane. This teacher is the worst. When he was 9 years old, he had a teacher that hated him. He was kind of a chubby kid, and one time he didn't do his homework and she flipped out. This is your workbook. You're supposed to do homework in your workbook. I don't see your homework. She was flipping through it so hard she ripped a bunch of pages. But she wasn't done. She then, in front of the entire class, started screaming at him even more. You know what, Kyle? You're probably too busy stuffing your face with sandwiches and Twinkies that you didn't have time to do your homework. You're so fat. She then made him go to the back corner of the classroom and stand there with his hands straight up in the air until class was over. Hands up, Kyle. He went home and told his parents what happened. The next day, they came into school with him. They went to her room and asked why she did that. To which she replied, "I'm sorry, I don't recall that happening. I think your kid might be making it up. I'm sorry." When this kid was in 4th grade, his glasses broke. Oh man. But it didn't really matter because in most of his classes he sat in the front row, so he could still see. Well, after a few days of going to class without his glasses, one of his teachers said, "Kyle, I see you still don't have your glasses. Are they still broken?" "Yeah, but it's fine. I can still see the board." The thing with this teacher though was that she would always write assignments on the board for students to work on during class. She would never explain the assignments. Students would just read the board and then do their work. But anyway, she said, "Kyle, it's been 4 days now. Your parents should have gotten you new glasses at this point. You're sitting in the back of the class." Okay. Alright, so this is what needs to be done before the end of class, okay? Get to work. Oh, I can't see it. What the heck? Sit down, Kyle. Hey, Stacy, can you tell me what the board says? Yeah, it says, Stacy, don't you dare tell him what it says. I'm teaching him a frickin' lesson. I hate my life. Dumbest rules parents made their kids follow. When this person was growing up, his parents wouldn't allow him to use public restrooms at all. Even on trips to Disney World. If he had to go to the bathroom, they had to go all the way back to the hotel, which is bogus. When he was in elementary and middle school, at the start of every year, his parents would call the teachers and told them to let them know if their son ever used the public bathroom. If he was caught using the public bathroom at school, his parents would punish him when he got home. Growing up, there was no place he could safely use the bathroom other than his home without getting in trouble. When he got to high school, the parents tried the same thing. They called the teachers and said, "Let us know if he ever uses the public restroom." The teachers in high school thought that was weird, and they never followed through. So he got away with using the bathrooms in high school. But it wasn't until college, where this kid was finally allowed to use any public bathroom he wanted without fear of being punished by his crazy parents. When this girl was in elementary school, she got in trouble for using a big word. Something upset her in class, and she used the word vexed, which means annoyed, frustrated, worried. Well, the teacher overheard and yelled at her. The teacher said that she should have just used the word angry. Well, her teacher then sent a note to her mom, explaining the situation. Her mom marked the teacher's note for errors in red pen and sent it back to her with a note that read, "When you can use proper English, you can correct hers." Legendary mom. The worst Christmas gifts ever. When this girl was 15 years old, she really wanted a dog. And her parents knew it because she was always asking them if they could get one. Well, one Christmas morning, after most of the presents were unwrapped, her parents went downstairs to grab one last gift for her. Oh my gosh, I wonder what this is. Her parents then came upstairs carrying a giant box with holes in it, almost as if there was a living creature inside. Okay, are you ready? Oh my god, I think I know what this is. I think I know what this is. Convinced there was a live puppy inside this Swiss cheese looking box, she unwrapped it, super excited to meet her new pet. But as she opened the box, she saw a stuffed animal dog that when you squeezed its paw, it barked. What is this? You said you wanted a dog. Why would you put holes in the box? I hate you. When this kid was in 6th grade, he asked his teachers if he could get paid to clean up gum from under desks and chairs. They said sure. So he was getting paid $5 every time he cleaned up gum. Well, the principal found out about this and asked him if he could clean up the gum from under the tables in the lunchroom. He said sure. It was a nice little side hustle, but then he had a brilliant idea. He was gonna start selling gum. So he started buying these packs. This one's only $5 from Target. It's 8 packs with 15 pieces of gum in each pack. That's 120 pieces of gum, and he sold each piece of gum for 50 cents. He was making $60 after selling one whole thing of gum. But here's the kicker. Every time he sold somebody a piece of gum, he asked them when they were done with the gum if they could put it underneath desks or the lunchroom tables. So he would have to clean up the gum more often and make even more money. His teacher said he has a thing he does whenever he loses control of his class. He grabs a stapler and says, "Anyone want to put a staple in my hand? The physical pain would be nothing compared to how I feel right now, when all I want to do is help you guys reach your full potential, but you don't care." Somebody then usually doubts his seriousness and says, "Yeah, I'll put a staple in your hand." That's when he walks up to their desk, puts the stapler down, and puts his hand down and says, do it. The students usually give a nervous giggle and they pretend to do it, but they never do. Well, one day he did this little stunt again, and a student was like, "Yes, mister, I'll put a staple in your hand." He brings a stapler over, puts his hand down, and the student actually staples his hand. He didn't freak out or anything. He calmly looked at his hand, asked, "Did that really happen?" Pulled the staple out while blood trickled down, and he said, "Are we done? Can I go back to teaching now?" All the students were completely shocked. The kid that did it felt so bad that he stapled his own hand at the end of class. People who were legends in their high school. There was this one teacher at this one high school that never let anybody use the bathroom, no matter how many times they asked. There was this one girl in class who hated this teacher, and the teacher hated her. Every day, she would always ask if she could use the bathroom, and the teacher said no. Well, on the last day of school, this girl was in this teacher's class. She asked the teacher twice if she could use the bathroom, and the teacher said no. This is what happened when she asked for the third time. "Miss, can I please use the bathroom? I really have to go." "I swear to God, if you ask me one more time, no, you may not." "Okay, fine, but just remember, you did this." The girl then stood up, stared at the teacher, and peed her pants. She got in big trouble, but she went home and told her parents about this, and her father was a urologist. Her father called the school, and this teacher got into huge trouble. The dumbest rules parents had their kids follow. When this girl was in high school, her parents had this very strict rule. "All right, love you guys, I'm going to my friend's house." "Okay, don't forget the rules." "I won't." The rule was this. She had a curfew every night, and for every minute she was late after curfew, she would be grounded for a week. So if she was 2 minutes late coming home, she'd be grounded for 2 weeks. Well, one day she was stuck behind a train. Come on, come on, come on. It was one of those long trains. You know what I'm talking about. Well, it was passing for 10 minutes, causing her to be 10 minutes late, Marissa. Do you know what that means? You were 10 minutes. Honey, please, I got this. No. 10 minutes late is what? 10 weeks. Excuse me? 10 weeks. 10 weeks. Very good. You're grounded for 10 weeks. Now get to your room. Oh, God, I hate them so much. Stupid rule. What the heck? What's a pineapple doing in here? When this kid was in middle school, he bought a shoe customization kit, and he was skilled enough to design stuff like this on people's shoes. Well, he decided to start a business. He charged kids $10 for him to customize their shoes. But more and more people started getting interested in this, and business started booming. So he raised his price to $50 per customization. Things were going great, and he was running this business for 3 months. Until one day, the vice principal walked in on him in the bathroom designing some shoes. The vice principal saw him and told him that he had to ask the principal if he could continue. Well, the principal said, "Yeah, for sure, keep going." And he did. He continued this business for 7 months. But then one day, a school board official was visiting the school, and the school board official caught him in the bathroom as well. He was then shut down completely. In total, he made about $11,000. That's insane. There was this kid in 8th grade, and to be clear, nobody liked him. Why? Well, because he was frickin' mean. He would steal people's food and say, "Mine, survival of the fittest." He barked at the PE teacher once. Ruff. And he had this really insane talent of making other people cry. Kid was a certified menace. One day during lunch, he picks up one of those tiny square milk cartons, and he sees someone across the way and says this, "Hey nerd, catch this." He winds up, he launches the milk carton, and he misses. The milk carton missed the kid he was trying to throw it at, but it hit the security guard in the chest. Oh, you, come here now. And let me say this, the security guard was a huge, buff dude. People respected him because they were terrified of him. "Oh, no. I'm so sorry." This 8th grader is now starting to panic because he's terrified. I said, "Come here now." And he starts walking over there, slowly, in shame and terror. And just like that, every single student in the cafeteria begins cheering. Justice. Justice is served. Who's the nerd now? Loser. Everyone was just so happy that this kid, who seemed to never get in trouble but was always so horrible to other people, was finally getting the karma he deserved. This kid had a fish allergy, and he always told his mom, "Mom, I can't eat fish, I'm allergic." And he's not like die allergic, but if he has fish, he'll get sick. Headaches, vomiting, but his mom refuses to believe him. "No, you're not. Eat the fish." She would force him to eat the fish, saying that he's not allergic, and then when he does eat it and gets sick, she gets annoyed. "Oh my God, you're dramatic." clean up after yourself. Well, one night, the mom's hosting a big dinner party. This kid is 9 years old. Everybody's eating. His mom hands him a fish fillet in front of all the guests. Here you go, sweetie, eat this. Let me know how it is. Mom, I told you I can't eat fish. That's not true. That's not true, everybody. Eat the fish. That's when the kid realized, okay, I'm gonna eat the fish. He eats the fish. Everybody's watching. 10 minutes later, he walks back into the kitchen. Oh, did you like the fish? You want more, I bet, huh? No, Mom, I... Pukes all over the mom and the table. The guests are shocked. Oh my god! Clean up an aisle fish! Milk! Now you can see it in the mom's face. She wants to explode. Kid's like, do it, Mom. Everyone will see who you really are. But the mom can't. Not in front of all her guests. So she flips. Oh, my poor baby. I think you are allergic to fish. Let me go put you to bed. She then takes him upstairs and tucks him in and joins the party again. And from that day on, she never made him eat fish ever again. Hey, kid's a genius. It started over a jelly donut. No, that's my donut. I bought it. It was the last one. Yeah, but I was technically in line before you. Yeah, but then you went to the bathroom because you had to take a dump. Steven, you told her? It's the truth. They argue and argue. They start shoving. Then the donut drops on the floor and somebody steps on it. It's no good. It turned into this big thing. Apparently, the school had began picking sides. Nobody even knows what it's about. So now it's two large groups of people. At the front are the two girls, and they just start brawling. And the kids who aren't involved are just watching, like, dude, this is messed up, we gotta leave. Okay, let's go. Well, as those two try to leave the cafeteria, two plainclothes cops come in. You're not going anywhere. Nobody's going anywhere. But by this point, it was out of control. The large fighting crowd makes its way outside, and now they're fighting in front of the school. Hundreds of kids shouting, fighting, people recording it. The security guard gets knocked over. Ouch! Ouch! Somebody pulls the frickin' fire alarm, and that's when it happens. Like 10 cop cars just storm in. They get out of their car. They're wearing helmets and shields, and that's when all the students realized, oh, we should probably stop. But everyone that was involved in the fighting got into huge trouble. Let's just say for the next week, attendance was very low. There was a school in Florida that tried to monetize the bathroom. It's so messed up. They gave every student 3 restroom credits a month. And if you ran out, each additional restroom credit was $5 each. This is insane. The principal called it time management training, which didn't make any sense. It's more like a human rights violation. Well, that's when a student named Marcus, what's up, realized that the school just created the most valuable currency on campus. Okay, I got 2 credits left. I'll trade them for your pre-calc answers and your lunch. Okay, cool, yeah, deal. Marcus became this bladder broker of sorts. Hey bro, you never pee, right? No, just once before school and once at night. I'll buy your credits off you. He would either trade these credits or sell them to students who were having an emergency for a massive markup. Now the crazy part is, he began trading, buying, and selling these credits very obviously in front of teachers in the hallway because his plan was to get caught. So when the principal did catch on, Marcus, I know what you're doing. Oh, you do you? You cannot be trading, buying, or selling these bathroom credits. Well, what are you gonna do about it, huh? Oh, well, you're gonna get in big trouble. No, you're not, because listen up. You got a few options here. You can punish me, but then I'll go to the school board, tell them that you're charging students $5 to use the bathroom. Or you can let me continue and do nothing about it. Or your last and honestly best option, get rid of the credit system. It's a human rights violation, you frickin' idiot. Out of my office now. By the next morning, the bathroom credit system was gone. And honestly, it was all thanks to Marcus. She's on her first date at this guy's place, and he's cooking dinner. What's for dinner? Food. Now his place has this rustic cabin vibe. Wooden floors, dim lights. There's a weird smell that she noticed, but she thinks it's just an old house. I'm noticing a weird smell. It's probably because it's an old house. Well, at that moment, this guy's dog walks into the room and just unloads a 30-second pee right in the middle of the floor. She's trying to get his attention. Stop. No, your dog, he's peeing. He doesn't turn around, he just says, oh yeah, he does that sometimes. Well, then she asks if there's a towel she can help him clean up the pee. Since you're cooking, I can clean it up. But he says this, nah, you can just leave it. I'll spray some Febreze on it later, let it dry by itself. And that's when it hits her. The smell wasn't the cabin. That soft spot on the floor wasn't just old wood. It was the dog's bathroom. And dogs sometimes pee inside, but he never cleaned his dog's pee up. He just put Febreze on it. She politely sat there and ate dinner. Then she leaves and never texts him ever again. That's nasty. There was this kid named Silas who hadn't spoken since the 6th grade. Silas went 3 years without making a sound, until he ended up in Mr. Garrett's algebra class. I'm Mr. Garrett. Now, Mr. Garrett was a notorious power tripper. He loved picking on kids for no reason. Well, that particular day, he was really laying into this kid named Leo. Well, are you stupid, Leo? I asked you for the answer 10 minutes ago. Stand up. Sit down. Now, Leo was a freshman, and he had a stutter. And on that day, he was clearly on the verge of a full-blown panic attack. The teacher was being ruthless, and the class was silent as well. They were like, this is super uncomfortable. The teacher still laid into him. How did you even get through middle school? You are the dumbest student I've had in years. Well, that's when the class heard a scrape, like someone's chair being pushed out. It's Silas. He's standing up now. Silas, sit back down. This does not involve you. Silas didn't sit down. He walked right to the front of the room. He stood between the teacher and the kid, and he spoke for the first time in 3 years. He's not the one who's stupid, Mr. Garrett. A good teacher doesn't need to bully a 15-year-old to feel powerful. So there's something weird about you. Mr. Garrett was so stunned because this kid hadn't spoken all year that he just sat down, stunned in his seat. Silas never spoke at school again for the rest of the year. He didn't have to, because everyone already knew. This mom spent 5 years telling everybody in town that her son was a monster. He cut me off. He hasn't talked to me in years. She would go on Facebook and post these long, crying rants about how family is everything and how she didn't understand why her own flesh and blood would just stop speaking to her. I'm a heartbroken saint of a mother. She was really making herself the victim. I just don't get it. I gave him life, and now he won't even answer a text. I've done nothing but love him. Well, her son eventually caught wind of all of this, and he decided he was done being the villain in this story. He finally posted a comment on one of his mom's crazy posts. He didn't write much. It was a simple question. Hey mom, glad you're doing well. Quick question, where's my Honda? People commented. The truth finally came out. A few years back, her son let her borrow his car because her transmission was out and she needed to get around for a few days. But the day he dropped it off, all right mom, keys are in the ignition. I'm gonna get an Uber back home. You're all set. Thank you, son. Well, that day she didn't drive it to work. She drove it straight to a car dealership. And it wasn't a formal car dealership. It was some random guy. And she sold it to him. Yeah, I'll take it. Here you go. She then used that money to put towards a new car for herself. Why on earth would you do this? I needed something reliable. You're young. You can walk. I can't believe you. But she got mad at him. She said that, oh, quit complaining. You should be happy for me. But obviously, he wasn't. And that's why he never talked to her. Good reason.
ভিতরটা শিমুল তুলার মতো নরম হয়ে ছিল যাওয়ার সাথে সাথে একটা
তুমি এতদিন যা করেছো তাতে আমার একটুও মন গলেনি আর তোমাকে ভালোবাসার কোনো কারণও
ও আপনি সে বড় ভাই আপনার নাম তো আমি বহুত শুনছি কিন্তু আমার
বুঝছস
ভাই আমি এটাই বুঝলাম না আপনি এই মাইয়া তানিয়ার মধ্যে কি পাইছেন এলাকার সব মাইয়া আপনি
মানুষ মাত্রই ভুল করে তাতে কি
ভাই এমন যে করব
দাঁড়া মাথার ভিতরে অলরেডি একদম তানিয়ার বাপরে আমি চ্যালেঞ্জ করছি 7 দিনের মধ্যে তানিয়া আমারে আমি প্রেমে ভালাবো কেমনে বেটা কস না কেন বেটা
ভাই কি কমু কোন মানে হ্যাঁ বাড়িতে কেমনে বাইক করবে এটা তো জানি না এর মধ্যে আপনি কবিতা দিয়ে দিচ্ছেন আমি তো
কোন হারামজাদা আমার মায়েরা ডিস্টার্ব করে
খালু আপনি শুধু শুধু রাগ করছেন
আমি হইতাছি রিকশা তুমি হইতাছে এসি বাস
মামা ভাড়া দিত
আপনার ছেলের সাথে আমি আমার মেয়েকে বিয়ে দিব ঠিক আছে ভাই
ফুটে যাব না মানে এত হ্যান্ডসাম ফ্রেন্ডলি সুন্দর
হারজিত চিরদিন থাকবে একটা এতিম ছেলের জন্য আজকে আমি
আমার মতো একটা মানুষকে ভালোবাসা যায়
সত্যি বলতেছো তানিয়া
সেলিম
আবার আসবো স্যার আগে আপনার বাসায় আসতে গেলে পা কাঁপতো এখন আর পা কাঁপতো না
বন্ধু তুই যদি রক্ত দেস ভালো লাগে না রে দোস্ত।
না দুলা ভাই, আমি তো কোচিং এ যাই নাই, আমার তো বাসায় গেস্ট আসছে আর আমার আম্মু তো একা, এজন্য আমি যাই না।
আমার পড়াশোনা সবকিছু বন্ধ করে দিবে, তখন আমি কি করব?
আরে ছাইরা দে। ভালোবাসা যে এত প্যারা, এত কষ্ট, এত জ্বালা যন্ত্রণা, জানলে ভালোই বাসতাম। জিসান আর তুলির ভালোবাসার ইতিহাস, তাই রক্ত লাগবে দোস্ত।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম দুলা ভাই।
আরে শালা, ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম। কি খবর, কেমন আছো?
বান্ধবীও তো যায় না, এতবার ফোন দিলাম ফোনও ধরতেছে না। তুমি একটা ফোন দাও তো, ফোন বের করো।
কি বলেন দুলা ভাই, ও যায় নাই? কথা হইছে, ভাইয়া বলছে যে ভাইয়া আমাদের কোচিং এর সামনে আর আসবে না, আর তোকে ডিস্টার্বও করবে না।
জানো না
কারণ না,
আমি একটা তিন গুনমু।
না বাবা, প্রেম হইলেই হবে, প্রেম হইলে এমনি ডিস্টেন্স হবে বাবা, আমার খালি ওরে দরকার।
রক্ত কেন? ইতিহাস লিখবো, ভালোবাসার ইতিহাস।
ভালো আছি, আপনি ভালো আছেন?
আমি তো ভালো আছি, তো তোমার বোন কোথায়?
আচ্ছা একটা মিনিট, আমি কল দিচ্ছি।
এক রাতে ভালো হয়ে গেল, এটাও আমার বিশ্বাস করতে হবে? দোস্ত আমার না ভয় লাগছে।
আসতে বলুন না, সেটা আমার একটু জরুরি কথা আছে।
বাবা,
ভাই
আমি তো এলাকা ছাড়ার আগে
তুমি একটা হীরার টুকরা ছেলে, যেই ছেলে।
তানিয়া, আমার পিস্তলটা নিয়ে আয় তো।
মাত্র সে ফেসবুকে স্ট্যাটাস দিয়েছে সে একটি অনাথ বাচ্চাকে।
কত স্যাক্রিফাইস করছি, এলাকার বড় ভাই থেকে রিক্সা চালক হয়ে গেলাম, আর সেটাই করবো। যে গরম না, আর এই বড় ভাই তোর মায়ের চিকিৎসার দায়িত্ব নিছে। সেলিম ভাই ভালোবাসার লেগে জেল খাটছিল।
ভাই আপনি যত কথাই, এই বাড়িতে ওই বদমাইশটার কথা একবারও ভুলে উচ্চারণ করবা না।
ভাই মিনিমাম আপনি 17 লাইনের একটা কবিতা লেখেন, 17 লাইনের কবিতাটা
কিন্তু ছাপাই না, সব মাথার ভিতরে থাকে। যখন পড়তে ইচ্ছা করে মাথা, আমি জানো ওরে বাপ করে দেব। আর আমি কি কমো জানো, তবু তানিয়া ভালো কেমনে বেটা, কস না কেন, বেটা।
এটা পড়ে আপনার প্রেমে পুরো রূপ করে পড়ে যাবো। আর তো আপনি পারবেন ভাই, আপনি পারবেন।
ও 700 লাইন লিখবো, আর বাদ বাকি 300 লাইন আমি লেখা বললাম।
একটু নামিয়ে দাও, মানে ও ছাড়া পাক না পাক তাতে আমাদের কি?